Well, we're back. We're back in the studio tonight. And tonight, we got something a little bit different. Now, these are cards, Pokemon cards, right? But we have actually something a little different. We have the rival battle decks. I'm holding Marnie. Danielle has Steven right over there. Now, these were released recently. But we want to go through these with you in part to show you a deck that you can buy right out of the box and play it and at least have a pretty good time with it. Let's do some camera stuff over there, but before we go over to the table camera, please help us say thank you to Cooley Cards and Gaming and Gamers Sanctum, sponsors of our channel. Great stores. You get a hold of them on the social medias, ask them for what you need, and they will take care of you just like they do us. Let's go take a look. Now, what I want to show you on here, on these decks, okay, this is a pre-constructed deck, all 60 cards inside that you need. And on the back, it actually has the list of every card that's inside of these boxes. Now, that can be very important for you when you're picking out one of these things, depending on what you're trying to build or what you want to try to start with. Now, and I will recommend now, you go back and look into our past way back when pre-constructed decks had like 22 energies and like one good supporter and one EX, and they weren't easy to play and they weren't easy to use. Unless your name's Greg and you get beat by a dad playing in his first tournament at Nationals. But that's another story in its own right. But let's get these ripped open and we'll show you kind of what these are about. And they've got a lot of good information inside these and good supplies. As you can see, you've got some, now granted they're cardboard, okay, we'll go along with that. But if you're just getting started, these are great damage counters.
These IRs are...
Yeah, the fact that they put an Illustrator Rare inside of each of these boxes, they've stepped up their game quite a bit.
I'll put this on my...
Yeah, you want to put that on?
Oh yeah, I bought it online.
You bought that online? Okay.
I had some of the coins.
And those are one of mine. But here's the main focus of the Marnie deck. Now this is Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. When you play this from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you put up 5 basic energy cards from your deck. I think it's from your deck, right? And then attach them to your Pokemon that have Marnie in the name. Then you also have Marnie's Morpeko here, which is an absolutely phenomenal looking card in this art form. And excuse me chopping her head off there, but you guys get an idea of how cool that card is. And you get 2 copies of them. Now there's the Stevens one. You get the Beldum is just cool as all get up. And the Metagross is pretty good too. I don't remember what it does.
Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a basic Psychic Energy card, a basic Metal Energy card, or one of each, and attach them to your Psychic and Metal Pokemon in any way you like.
So there you go. So that's pretty cool as well. It's pretty decent stuff. And energy manipulation is always important. Both of these decks provide that. There's a cool coin that comes in, so you can do your coin flips. You know, they're respective to their people. You get a playmat. Now take a look at the playmat there if you want to turn that sideways and show it to them a little bit. Not only does this give you where you're supposed to put everything, your deck, your prize cards, your active Pokemon, your bench Pokemon, but it also has real basic things of what you're supposed to do for your turn. Number 1, you must draw a card. Number 2, you can do any of these things in the order that you want to do them in, as long as you do them there, and then you attack. So it's kind of nice that they show you that. Yeah.
The Pokemon in your active spot is your active Pokemon. This is the Pokemon you attack with and the Pokemon your opponent attacks.
Right.
And then your bench can hold up to 5 Pokemon. All Pokemon put here must start as basic Pokemon.
There you go. So there's a lot of information crammed into this little sheet that you can use for playing the game. Now this also on the back side has some strategy guides for both of these decks in there, and some QR codes that you can scan to help you get started online if you want to do the online game. They give you a real basic deck box, but it does work if you need to keep your cards semi-safe. If you're not playing with sleeves, I mean, you're limited in how much safety they're going to have. But nevertheless, there are, I believe, 57 cards in these, plus the 3 cards that were up front.
It's all mixed.
And you get a variety of stuff, including energies and trainers, and the lower evolutions for your guys, and supporting Pokemon as well. But look at, you get Iono, Buddy Poffin, Spikemuth Gym, which is great, Experience Share, Drayton, Ultra Balls. All of these are usable. There's the lower evolutions. You're going to get a Scrafty and a Leopard line, as well as the Grimmsnarl, Switch, Boss Hors d'oeuvres. think about it. These can be $1 a piece in some places. So they're a great card. Rare Candy's always beautiful to have. Buddy Buddy Poppins are $1 a piece. So you're getting some pretty good. There's a research. There's good stuff in these decks, a lot better than it used to be. And you get more than one copy of the good trainers. So these can be worth the money, gang, especially if you're just starting out, or if you've got a youngster perhaps, or a newer person that wants to learn how to play the game. These can be competitive. I'm not going to lie to you, gang. I don't know how competitive because I've never played them, but they're a lot better than they used to be.
I do want to build
The
this.
Metagross is pretty cool.
I thought about picking up another one today.
We haven't pulled any yet either, so.
We've only one.
Did we? Is there any of that stuff in the boxes included yet? You can't buy them yet, right?
No.
So there's nothing to
When
buy
you saw on the decks.
yet. Right, you saw the decks, yeah.
I'm thinking about picking
But
it up,
let's-
sucking up copies.
Well, let's be patient. We'll see where they go. So why don't you show them some of the things that are in that deck?
A lot of the same stuff.
A lot of the same stuff, okay?
Obviously, the Pokemon will be different, like the Beldum, the Baltoy, Summoning Sign. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Steven Pokemon and put them on your bench and shuffle your deck.
Yeah, heck of a way to start the game, wouldn't it?
Granite Cave. Steven's Pokemon, both yours and opponents, take 30 less damage from attacking your opponent's Pokemon.
Right. So that's great too.
And you stack it with the card bank I saw,
Your care bank, yeah. Care
which
bank,
says, where?
Stevens do get less, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 30 damage less.
Yeah. So you can stack up and get
Yeah,
some pretty good defense going on with the Stevens guys.
As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, all your Steven Pokemon take 30 less damage from attacks your opponent's Pokemon.
Well, there you go.
You can minus 60 damage.
Right. Now, I will say this much about these decks compared to, like, they didn't make a Team Rocket deck for Destined Rivals, right?
Surprising.
Well, not really. Because if you think about it, these decks are probably pretty evenly matched. There's a couple of trainer cards, like the Stadiums, for example, that help you out with your respective trainers' Pokemon. But you look at the Team Rocket ones,
Yeah.
and there's like 8 supporters and a Rocket's ball and 2 stadiums that help the Rocket guys. So that would be a little bit imbalanced.
Which is also the Ethan and Cynthia. stuff,
Yeah,
too.
well, right, but none of them have that stuff either. They have a couple of cards, but not like the Rocket. But this in itself, I think, is a pretty good out-of-the-box deck. They've really stepped it up, I think, and I'm very impressed.
The fact
Now-
that they have an IR,
Yeah, well, that's another thing. But just playability alone. Let's take a look at this and we break it down a little bit. And we can show you some ideas on what you can do to improve.
I'm already
these
looking
decks.
at building this.
Yeah, and we will make improvements to that deck. But you can see how close it is to being a, higher end deck where you could potentially, win some local tournaments.
Players
with.
here too.
Yeah, well, there's that.
I like that Pokemon's gone down the route of actually getting playable decks out there.
Shout out to Puka for helping out with that now that he's with the company. I think he made a big difference in people's eyes out there. And,
Isn't he like the head of it? If I remember?
no, he's like a division leader for PR or marketing or something. I can't remember.
I thought he was like in charge of
No.
these.
But
Yeah,
he does
actually
have a
getting
hand.
players.
He does have a hand in it, though. So you get 14 energies, which might be a little bit too much, but for an early on player learning, that's not bad. And you used to get 22, so that's pretty good. Now let's take a look at the Pokemon lines, and I gotta grab my fancy ones over here while I lay them out. So we've got the Morpeko, which is going to be a standalone basic. Excuse you.
Sorry.
That's right. We've got Impidimps, right? And Margrim or Margarine or whatever you call it. And we got Scraggy and Scrafty, more Morpeko, more Impidimp, more Leopard. So there's not an overwhelming number of Pokemon that fall into these categories. But for example, you got a 2-1 Scrafty line. And he does 160 with 3 energies and does 30 to himself. He's only got 120 HP. I should show you that closer, I'm sorry. So he's not a super strong Pokemon. And even the basic takes 3 energies to attack. So that is, like, if you were going to cut some cards to add some more stuff that you need, that would be a great place to start. Let's take a look at what you got here. Now you've got 4 Impidimps, which is your basic for the Grimmsnarl. You got 3 middle evolutions and 2 Grimmsnarls at the top. And that's okay, but you know, you've already got some rare candy in the deck, which allows you to skip the stage 1. So you could probably even cut a marjoram or whatever her name is.
There's even less of the Stevens.
Yeah, I know, it's weird, ain't it? You could cut some of that, and you could add more Grimmsnarls, for example. So you've got more odds of getting the Grimmsnarl out and using its ability. So that can be helpful. Let's look at Leopard real quick. You got a 2/2 Purloin Leopard. And Pointy Claws, 2 energies does 70, and if they're an EX, it does 70 more.
The only Steven support trainer is the Stadium.
Pretty much, and I think that's the same way with this one. And that's not great either, but if you're trying to get quick, fast, and in a hurry, and you want Marnie guys that you can power up with the Grimmsnarl's ability, those aren't terrible. They could be worse. Concentrating more on the Marnie, though, you can pull some of that other stuff out. And then you got these more Picos, or more Pecos. 3 energies, spiky wheel, 40 damage for each dark energy attached to this Pokemon plus the 20. So if you think theoretically, if you drop a Grimmsnarl, you can put 5 energies on this guy and you'd be swinging for 220, which isn't great because he's only got 70 HP. But a last turn kind of a guy, not bad. Now when you go into the trainers now, like Danielle said, a lot of the trainers in these decks don't have a lot of supporting things for, like I have the Spikemuth gym.
It's just a lot of generic trainer that you use in every other
but they're all staples.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super Rod. You can always use Super Rod. Iono. Ultra Balls. The only thing I would suggest about these, well, you got 4 research. You can really hammer this deck out. Wow. That's kind of crazy. That's a little bit heavy, I think. But whatever.
There's a lot of support.
4 Ultra Balls. 3 Draytons. The experience share is nice. A couple of Spikemuth gems. A couple of 3 Buddy Poffins. 2 Ionos. The only thing I would suggest in this situation when it comes to dealing with these trainers is maybe maximizing your Buddy Poffins, because you're always going to want to have the ability to get basics out. Maybe Nest Balls or something else to help you get more guys. Ultra Balls are maxed out, which is great.
This is the exact same, other than
just a couple of little
Granite Cave.
Yeah. But there's 6 draw supporters there, which is also pretty good. Now you can mix and match in guys that aren't Marnies, like Pheasantipity, or you could put in a what do you call that one? What's the poison?
The
Petulant EX, and put some of the Moki in there to help you do poison damage to increase the attack power of the Grimmsnarl. Things like that to tweak the deck to your best liking would be great. But again, out of the box, you've got a lot of great trainers that these kind of staple cards, there's always people that play competitively that are looking for extra copies for those for all the time, because they're like, well, I ran out, I only have 12 of them. Well, you got 2 or 3 of them right here in this deck. Not bad. Let's hear what you got to say about that.
The staples are the same thing.
So the staples are pretty much the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, you got a lot of great trainers and supporters and things that will help you out. Now, there is one difference in this deck. You have 2 different flavors in there.
There's 15 energies.
15, and that's probably because you're playing Psychic and Dark Metal.
And you got the Claydol, and then it's for 1 energy, your opponent's active's confused with 20, and then
not bad.
220, discard all energy from this Pokemon for 2 Psychic, 1 colorless.
Yeah, but that's also not a
But
terrible
then you also
thing.
got the summoning
The
sign.
summoning thing
you
is
can
nice.
drop that with Buddy Poffin.
Pretty nice stuff you can do with that, absolutely. So you've got...
You got a bench sniper with Skibori.
Yeah, again, if they're not probably going to win you Worlds, but we've got some decks that are actually competitively playable, and you can take some prizes even against some seasoned veterans in those decks, as long as you know the basic stuff to do.
I like these.
They're not bad. I haven't opened one of them for a while, and I'm actually kind of glad we got the opportunity to do that. That was kind of nice. Tub, thanks for helping us out getting those in the trade. We appreciate that. Oh. Well, I suppose we better get back to work. We got stuff to do in Flight, and I's tired, she's tired, and we got to get up and go again tomorrow. So we're going to get the heck on out of here, put things away, and hit the sack. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Again, something a little different. Opening pre-constructed decks. Pretty good overall, I think. Please like, share, subscribe, ring the bell notification, comment below. Let us know what you think of these decks. Maybe you got one, you're trying it out. Maybe you're somebody new and looking for something. This is the way to go. We opened the decks. Yeah, those pre-constructed battle decks. And you can do it too. So give it out and give it a try. Let us know what you do, what you get out of it, and how it goes for you. We'll see you next time, gang.